So it seems like Twitch really want VTubers to start multi-streaming because it seems like another VTuber has been targeted by the Twitch staff for absolutely no reason at all, and it's becoming a really big problem now. Whenever I first covered the first issue to do this with Lucy Pyre, I thought maybe this was just a one-off thing. I thought maybe they just bended the rules a little bit to see what the outfit, just to see what they could do in terms of just like banning someone for an outfit or attire or whatever. But it seems like there's been a big trend of VTubers getting banned by Twitch recently, and I think a lot of people have started to have enough because, again, it's pretty terrible. Now, this is actually coming from a VTuber called Miilkywayz, who is a very big VTuber. They've got 160,000 followers. They're with Mythic Talent, and again, they had a lot of followers over on Twitch as well. And yeah, essentially, they have been banned. This is over on Yeet saying another VTuber goes down at Twitch. This time it's Milky. Reason for ban unknown. So it's another one of these situations where we don't know exactly why they got banned. Now, Lucy even mentioned with her ban, if you guys remember. And the thing is with Lucy's ban, no one actually knew exactly why she got banned. She even mentioned herself, still no information on exactly why. So we're going to have to drop that. We're going to have to hope for the best on Tuesday. I love how Twitch communicates so clearly with its creators and has zero double standards, truly the ideal streaming platform. And then also, yeah, you can see here, these are the outfits, or one of the outfits out on the right that she was using. And again, people thought maybe it was something to do with that, but it was still never confirmed by Twitch staff, and they still never told Lucy what exactly she did. Now, the same actually goes for another VTuber called Ellie, who I made a video on literally yesterday, who has been unbanned now, but they also got banned for absolutely no reason at all. And this one's even more stupid because you can't even really find a reason why, It's one of these things where it's like, Lucy's was like, okay, maybe there could have been some rule bending here to say that this attire wasn't appropriate, even though it does actually follow TOS, which we went through in the video. But with Ellie, it was just completely out of the blue. No one knew why they did this, and no one knew why this is happening. And now it's happened once again with Milky, who doesn't really know either what is actually going on with this kind of stuff. And, this is reason for ban unknown. And it just seems like Twitch has got this thing against kind of VTubers at the moment, and it's pretty terrible. And it's been a thing that's been going on for the past couple of months, but not to this kind of extent where, VTubers are getting banned every single day. Now, I can guarantee you that Milky is only going to be banned for a day. I feel like Milky is going to be back literally tomorrow and be unbanned, because that seems to be the usual pattern with this kind of stuff, is that they always get unbanned after a day and never told what exactly they did. And obviously, yeah, Milky replied to this saying no, or sorry, moo. They're saying, sending lots of love, Milky. What in the world is happening? This is from Zentrea, obviously a very, very big VTuber over at VShoujo. And yeah, they said, thank you, Zen. Twitch is being very sus right now. And again, it's really weird that this kind of stuff is happening. They're saying, not my girl Milky, free her. Obviously, yeah, that's Ellie, one of the other VTubers who got banned, saying, not my girl. They said, no, not Ellie, you too. Oh my god, bro, Twitch. I said, hope you get unbanned soon from Matara. So there's some really, really big kind of, VTubers actually kind of responding to this and taking the side of Milky here, because it seems like there has been some kind of attack going on towards VTubers at the moment, and it's getting pretty ridiculous. I feel like, a lot of VTubers are getting fed up of being constantly banned over on Twitch. And obviously, I've talked about the other situations going on with like Tectone, for example, saying, the word whore over on stream, and apparently that gets him banned for an entire week. And he even revealed the fact that recently he was supposed to get unbanned because he got his appeal, approved, and, they said, okay, you can come back. But they couldn't unban him because it was a weekend, which is absolutely ridiculous. And obviously it kind of shows you the absolute kind of professionality of the kind of Twitch staff, is the fact that, oh, they take the weekends off, so we're not going to unban you. I mean, it's just a literal simple click of the button. I don't think they have that many people to unban that somebody needs to clock in for the whole day of the weekend or the whole days of the weekend to actually do that. And the same goes for, it seems like they're not very professional in terms of communicating the problems that these VTubers have on Twitch. Now, obviously, so far, we've had no reason whatsoever, as I said. But the thing is, maybe there was something in the TOS. And if there was something in the TOS, then Twitch should be able to provide that reason to them and explain to them why, so they can avoid doing it in the future. But the thing is, they're not even doing that, which makes me think that, a lot of this is even more Twitch rule bending and even more of this kind of like bending every single like TOS term to try and get them banned, and just avoiding telling them what the reason was whatsoever is one of the easiest ways to kind of avoid that confrontation and to avoid the kind of asking the question of why the hell did I get banned, when if they don't reply, well, there's going to be no problem because, again, they don't actually explain it in the first place. And obviously that is such terrible behavior from Twitch there. They're supposed to be a professional company, and it seems like this is getting worse and worse every single day, especially whenever they, start to pander and be favorites to some other streamers, for example, like Hassan, who, is allowed to go on stream and say some pretty horrible stuff every single day and still not get banned for it. And even if he does get banned, he gets to pick which day he gets banned. He gets to pick, oh, I'll do it on my day off. Oh, I'll do it on this day, which is pretty crazy. And then meanwhile, you've got these VTubers who are obviously trying to do their job. They're trying to do, this is their job at the end of the day. I feel like it would be Milky's job. Maybe they got another job. I don't know. But obviously they got 160,000 followers. I mean, I feel like they are probably full-time, or at least somewhat pretty reliant on their job here. And, it's one of these things where you're taking like the livelihood away from these people for just some petty reasons. And meanwhile, a lot of these other streamers are allowed to just go ahead and, keep saying this like kind of stuff to do with, all the, just politics. And, I don't want to get in too far into it, but you get what I mean. There's so much favoritism going on that apparently these VTubers have to be the one to fall for this, which again is just absolutely horrible, and it just keeps proving further and further that Twitch has a massive agenda against VTubers, and it just keeps getting worse and worse as the days go by. And I feel like at the end of the day, it's just one of these things where I don't think Twitch is going to necessarily change their stance on it, but I do think that a lot of VTubers should consider looking into multi-streaming, looking into other platforms. Now, obviously, not saying they should leave Twitch altogether, although to be fair, some of them might be forced to soon if they, get, banned. But, yeah, I feel like people should start looking into, streaming on Kick, streaming on YouTube, things like that. YouTube streaming has always been pretty big in the VTubing space, which I think is actually pretty good. And I think it is partially because of how Twitch treats them and how Twitch has been over the past couple, of years towards VTubers. But, there are still some people, obviously, that stream solely over on Twitch. So I think, doing multi-streams, things like that, can fix that issue and then, stops that kind of disruption that you get from a Twitch ban. But at the end of the day, it should, it shouldn't have to be like this. You shouldn't have to resort to this kind of stuff. It should be the fact that, Twitch actually sorts themselves out and doesn't ban people for such, like, petty reasons like this. Because, again, it's stupid and people, are going to get outraged by this. And I feel like, I don't know why, they decided to do this in the first place. I don't know why Twitch decides, they woke up one day and just like, okay, we hate all VTubers now. Let's just go ban them all. I don't know the reason behind that, but it seems like it is happening more and more. And that is now 3 VTubers on the list as of recently. Obviously, there's been many in the past that has now been banned over on Twitch. And it's crazy, and I will keep this, series, I guess, going the longer that this keeps going on, because I feel like this isn't even the last one, With a lot of this coming out, I feel like I'm probably going to wake up tomorrow, streamer bans is going to be on my timeline saying, this VTuber got banned, and it could be someone even worse. And I feel like Twitch is slowly pushing their luck, because obviously a lot of the streamers that they banned recently, for example, Ellie, Lucy, and Milky, they are all very similar in size. They are all very similar in terms of followers, in terms of fan base, and they're all pretty big, but they haven't hit any of the big VTubers yet, like your Shy Lilies, like your Silver Veils, like people like that, which it would be interesting if they were to ban one of them, because it would bring even more attention to this kind of drama and to this situation at the moment, that maybe, something might actually get done about it. But hey, we'll have to wait and see if Twitch kind of pulls the trigger on that one, because it would be very interesting if they did ban someone that has an even bigger fan base than some of these people. But again, it's pretty crazy. And yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this, because again, it's crazy what is going on at the moment. And I will continue to cover all of this stuff going on and to try and expose, what Twitch has actually been doing in the background towards a lot of these VTubers, because many people can get blindsided by a lot of the Hassan drama or whatever that's going on and focus purely on him and the people that are against him. But also, whenever you think, in the background with these VTubers that are being banned, it just gets even worse for the, state of Twitch at the moment. But yeah, that's all I got, and I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.